Hey, welcome to the Creepy Villain MMA show. I am your super creepy host, Creepy Uncle Nick. That's Dylan the Villain. He's getting ready to fight in about another week. Can't wait. We are going to go over UFC 152. You might ask yourself, what happened to UFC 151? Nobody knows. John Jones decided to bitch out.
It's gone.
Yeah. And not take the fight against Chael Sonnen, who's the exact same fighter as Dan Henderson, except he doesn't hit as hard. To be honest with you, I really don't blame John Jones, though. It's not, in order to keep the belt, you gotta prepare, and, even though they're pretty much the same fighter, there are subtle differences,
And did Sonnen really deserve that title shot?
No, not really. Especially after he just lost at 185, and he goes up to 205 and gets another title shot.
Yeah.
I don't think so. But we're going to go over UFC 152, which features our main man right now, Johnny Bones Jones, who is 16-1, with wins over Rashard Evans, Lyoto Machida, Rampage Jackson, Shogun Rua, Ryan Bader, and Brandon Vera. He's got one loss to another guy who's going to be fighting on this card, Matt Hamill, and he's going against
Vitor Belfort, who's 21-9, with wins over Anthony Johnson, Rich Franklin, Vanderlei Silva, and has losses to Anderson Silva, and Dan Henderson and Alistair Overeem Pride.
Alright.
And he's a former UFC light heavyweight champion.
Beat the living snot out of Tito and Randy and everybody else. He was fucking badass when he first started.
Yeah.
I am going to go with John Jones on this one for the mere fact of he's awesome. Vitor's got a good puncher's chance, as he always does, because he's fast, he hits hard, but the wrestling, I think John Jones is just too talented.
Yeah, absolutely. His wrestling and his jiu-jitsu game is probably better than Vitor's, and yeah, I see John Jones winning. I think I could see a finish too.
I'm going to say by a high kick to the face.
The face.
Anderson Silva style. The next fight, which surprisingly isn't getting that much publicity about it, especially since a title fight. There's a dog taking a shit out there. Which is Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson, who is 15-2 with one draw. He's got wins over Ian McCall, Miguel Torres, and Kid Yamamoto. And he's got losses to Dominic Cruz and Brad Pickett. And he's going to be going against another guy with blower's cramp. Ooh! Alright.
Joseph Benavidez is 16-2 and has wins over Eddie Wineland, Miguel Torres, Rani Yahya, and has his only 2 losses in his MMA career against Dominic Cruz in title fights. And he is a former high school wrestling state champion.
This is actually a tough one for me because Mighty Mouse Johnson's really fast, really freaking fast, and hard to get. But I'm going with Joseph Benavidez. The dude is a beast, man. He's fast, he's great wrestling, he trains with Team Alpha Male.
Yeah.
He's got that choke. I'm going to go with the wrestler, Joseph Benavidez.
This is going to be an awesome fight.
I think it will be, actually.
Just 2 crazy little dudes just beating the crap out of each other.
They're both quick. Definitely give the quickness to Mighty Mouse, though.
Yeah. And I'm going with Benavidez too. Just for the mere fact that Benavidez finished his guy at in his debut. Yeah. And then Demetrius could have maybe lost that first fight with Ian McCall, but then dominated him in the second fight. So for that mere fact, I'm going with Joseph Benavidez, but this is going to be an awesome fight.
This next fight has got one of the guys I hate most in all of MMA for this exact reason. Michael the Dick Bisping, who is going against Matt Hamill here and talked so much shit after he got his ass kicked by Matt Hamill. And ever since then, I haven't been able to get past it. I'm sorry.
I just don't like the guy.
Michael Bisping is Hold on while I get my paperwork. 22-4. He's got wins over the dangerous Mayhem Miller. Jorge Rivera, very dangerous guy there too. Oh, and Dan Miller. What's the other one? Matt Hamill. And Chris Lieben. He's got losses to Dan Henderson, Vanderlei Silva, Rashard Evans, and Chael Sonnen. And he is going against
the All-American. The All-American Brian Stann. 12-4 is his record with wins over Alessio Sakara, Chris Lieben, and Steve Cantwell. And has losses to Chael Sonnen and Phil Davis. And he's our former WEC light heavyweight champion.
And just an all-around badass. I like Brian Stann.
Me too.
A lot more than I like Michael Bisping. Brian Stann's a little bit more one-dimensional, I think. You know, his wrestling and jiu-jitsu isn't really quite up to snuff, and it doesn't really matter because Bisping's takedown defense is pretty fucking good. But I'm going to go with my dumb dog. I don't know who I'm going to go with, actually. I think I'm going to probably take Stann by knockout because I just hate Michael Bisping, and I'm only picking off of sheer hatred for Michael Bisping. I actually want to like Michael Bisping. You and I discussed this earlier. I want to like him because he's not that bad of a fighter, but he always starts talking and
spitting at people.
Yeah, and picking on a poor deaf guy.
Really? You know?
Have some class, jerk. Some of the other fights on this card. This is actually a pretty decent card. I like a lot of the fights on here. Matt Hamill, I'm hoping he actually comes out after his fight because he is going to win this one in his debut back and just beats Michael Bisping.
And then calls out John Jones?
Yeah, and gets the rematch for that too and becomes champion. Cub Swanson's fighting on this one versus Charles Oliveira. I like him. Stop shaking so much. With Kyle Noakes on this one. I like that Jimmy Hedges is fighting on this one. I really like him. He's an up-and-comer that I really enjoy to watch.
Vinny Magalhaes.
Oh, yeah. He was an Ultimate Fighter. I'm really excited to see him.
Yeah.
He was a former Ultimate Fighter, and then he wound up losing. But I thought he had a lot of potential. And then he went to M1 Global and became a champion.
Yep.
And then he didn't like the way M1 Global was treating him or something, so he put up his M1 Global belt on eBay. I thought that was awesome.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like it if he did that to the UFC, but
yeah.
M1 Global, that's fine.
Then he gained a lot of weight, and he gained a lot of weight to what was it, 230, 240, 250 or something, and fighting at 205 this weekend. He's just dangerous off of his back.
There's been a lot happening in news, so much that you can't even go, they had the whole thing with all the injuries. I don't really think, I actually blame a lot of the injury epidemic that's going on the busy fight schedule. I think they need to just take it a little bit easier on the fight schedule, and I think it'll take, some of the fighters to stay healthier. Jack! Great. Some of the other upcoming fights, sorry, my dog is getting ready to go after some other little puppies, and I must stop that. Some of the other fights coming up on it are September 29th, Stefan Struve is fighting Stipe Miocic.
Stipe Miocic.
And Dan Hardy, who I actually became a fan of after we met him because he's a really cool guy.
Yeah.
I thought he was like a Bisping dick, but it turns out that he's actually really cool. Bad teeth, but cool. He's going against Amir Sadala. That should be a fun, fight, which I think is tailor-made for Dan Hardy.
Yep.
October 5th, we're going to this one. I have 7th row seats. Travis Brown, he's an up-and-coming heavyweight. He's going against Antonio Bigfoot Silva. Jake Ellenberger is going against Jay Heron and some other ones. October 13th, Anderson Silva is going against Stephen Bonner. Big Nog is fighting Pee Wee Herman.
John Vitch versus Eric Silva.
Yeah, I like Eric Silva, man.
That guy is a beast.
He didn't look as impressive, I don't believe, in his last fight. I think it actually went past the first round.
Yeah.
So that's a big shock. But
his first 2 fights are under a minute.
Yeah. I'm a big Eric Silva fan, and I can't wait to watch him progress as well. But that's just about it for this episode of the Creepy Villain MMA show. We're hoping to do a few more, and hoping to do one before the next pay-per-view with some awesome news. But it's getting really cold, and my nips are starting to poke through my shirt, so we are going to get out of here.